Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're back here once again inside of Elite Dangerous. It's been a couple weeks since I played Elite. It's one of those games you really, as I've said before, you can't sit down and just play 20 minutes there, 20 minutes there. You have to spend like an hour every time you want to play it. So I've just been really busy, lots of other content, lots of new games coming out, lots of things I wanted to cover for the channel. So Elite kind of got pushed to the side for a little bit, but we're back, and I finally have managed to make my way to a decent hunting grounds, actually locating one of those asteroid belts that I was talking about. You guys gave me a lot of information about that. I appreciate anyone who helped point me in the right direction. And previously in the beta, they were called resource extraction sites that you could basically just jump into. Now they're actually just the rings outside of the planets, which is what they were before. But again, you could jump right into them. Now they don't really appear on the map. You basically just have to fly into them. Once you're close enough, you will actually see the beacon pop up and you'll be able to lock on and then jump into one of the many rings on some of these planets. So the planet we're going to be going to is actually a planet in LH3447. It's B2, and it is the A ring, the interior ring, which is also where a lot of advanced mining goes on. Interestingly enough, that was how I found out about these rings, was through a mining forum over on the Elite forum. So that was pretty awesome. I was actually there yesterday messing around a little bit. Sadly, having some issues with my pulse laser. Don't know if it was some sort of bug in the game, but basically this thing was hitting an invisible wall. But since then, I've actually went and swapped it out. It was loaned, and I picked up a burst laser because I want to mess around with some of the different weapons in the game. I know there's people out there who are going to tell me what's the best of the best, but I'm not really concerned about that. I prefer to just do my own sort of metagaming, my own sort of, whatever you want to call it. My own sort of theory crafting on what's the best. So I'm still running the cannon because I really love this thing. And now we're running a burst laser, which does a lot less damage than the pulse laser I have, but it does have a higher DPS. So maybe that'll be advantageous for the type of combat that I usually put myself in and the type of situations I usually fly in. And it's also another non-gimbaled weapon. Again, people always, they're always urging me to purchase gimbaled, but I'm just not ready for it yet. Maybe when I can have more hard points on my ship, I'll be concerned about it. I did pick up the blue Sonoran paint job for my ship. I talked about that, but they also added in decals now for your ranks. So for combat, I have mostly harmless, because that's what I am. So why not fly proudly? But we did actually manage to pick up an $11,000 CR bounty when we were in that resource extraction site just by using our cannon. We had the help of an anaconda, and this anaconda AI was just really determined to take down this eagle Mark III. So yeah, we kind of just aided him a little bit, and we may have stolen the bounty. He wasn't a real player, so I wasn't too concerned about it, but yeah, that guy's dead and gone, and we picked up an 11,000 CR. We're at about 75,000 credits now, so we're making our way to that Viper. We're making our way there. Let's go ahead and head out of Fairbairn, though. We're going to jump into that resource extraction site and see if we can't do ourselves some bounty hunting. Now, this is actually also the newest build of Elite Dangerous. They released 1.1, which added a couple things, nothing really big. There's some graphical improvements. The game, just getting some resolution and texture increases here and there, from what I've been able to tell. Two of the biggest ones, though, one more of a cosmetic thing, which is the addition of city lights, as they're calling it. Basically, any planet that actually is inhabited by human life, you'll actually be able to see the cities. You can see the lights coming off of these cities at night, when flying over the planets. It's just a nice visual touch, and they're trying to give the illusion that these planets have life, which one day, of course, Frontier does hope to actually generate life on these planets, procedural, environments that we'll be able to swoop down into in our ships, fly into the atmosphere, and explore for ourselves. And I imagine that's a far, far, far away, but one can hope that it will come sooner than later. So let's see here. What we want to do is take a look at the system map. And we're going to be jumping in on this planet right here, B2. It's a gas giant with ammonia-based life, and we're going to be heading to its inner ring, A ring, right there. So let's go ahead and find B2 here. It's a bit of a ways away in terms of flight. B1, B2. Let's go ahead, lock destination. We'll make the jump and head to Super Cruise and make our way there. The other big introduction, though, to 1.1, probably the most interesting one, is landing gear is down. It's what they're calling community feats, I guess you could say, community goals. The idea being that there will be certain objectives and missions that players can take on in certain starports that will all be a part of contributing to certain goals. That goal may be to build a space station, a new starport, or a mining station, something like that. And of course, that's going to continue to grow along with the game. But right now, there are missions like that. You can go out and you can participate in them. They might be trade missions. They might even be combat missions. Anything that might contribute to the building of said structure. And then that structure will actually be built over time. I'm definitely interested to actually see one of these structures, you know, midway being half built. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on the forums and seeing what people are saying about that. And maybe we'll go visit one day once we see it under construction. That is definitely cool. You know, it's a big step in the direction of making players feel like they're more connected to the world. You know, they try and do that with the reputation system, but when you can actually leave a physical mark in this procedurally generated world, that's pretty cool. That's pretty unique. And I think that is one of the biggest things that Elite has going for it, with the game being so massive and procedural, is that it's okay in many ways to give players the ability to build structures like this, and maybe even to own structures like this in the future. Because it's so large, it doesn't really matter that, you know, so-and-so owns this, you know, this mining facility in the middle of nowhere, because there's so much space. It's not like it's ever going to become crowded. You know, in some games you would have the issue of, okay, if we let players build things like this, then that basically means that we're going to have all these obstacles, all these objects all over the place, these space stations littered everywhere. It's going to start to cluster up the servers and the game. It's going to look like crap. We're going to have to do some type of a thing where these degrade over time. Well, I don't think they really have to worry about that. Although there definitely needs to be some sort of a system in place to prevent players from building something like that and then just leaving it, you know? A lot of games like to use systems like a rent system, where if you don't pay on your property, you know, every single month, then basically you lose that. You know, you'll be gone with it. I think Eve does something similar to that. So there's no doubt that I think that could definitely be a part of the game at some point. And I think if Frontier took that path and did some research on it, that would be a very, very cool addition. I'd like to own just even a tiny little like hangar on the edge of an asteroid somewhere in the middle of a random, you know, resource mining belt. That'd be cool. I think a lot of people agree that that would be really cool. One thing that I'm over with, I'm well out of the honeymoon phase with, is frame shift travel. LHS 3447 is the worst for it, at least in all the systems that I've been to, because everything is so far apart. I mean, you're honestly spending like 10 minutes flying between these locations, and it's just, I wouldn't mind it so much if after the 20 minutes I got to that location and didn't over jump. But to me, this system of how you jump into things and how you get there is just, it's broken. There's no accurate reading to it. And considering the fact you're flying in space, I feel like there'd be more advanced technologies to make this more efficient and quicker for pilots. I understand that they still want to have it be a real-time thing, because then people can interact with you. That's all fine and dandy, but I think that's just a very, very small element to the game that right now feels more prominent because it's lacking in so many other areas in terms of content. So I think that further down the road, I'd like to see the system change. I'd like to see an autopilot system for this, especially when you're talking about being able to walk around our ships. This should be something that we kick into autopilot. All right, you're en route. Make the run to the LHS 3447B2. I'm going to get up, and there's things I need to do. You know, there's areas of the ship that need repairs, interior repairs, whatever it may be when that time comes. I definitely want to see this system altered. I want to see it change. And again, a lot of people have been asking for some sort of an automated version of it, or at least something you can purchase for your computer on your ship to make it automated, much like docking. It definitely needs to happen. At the same time, it's easy to forget that Elite is technically, in many ways, still very early in development. You know, they've just chosen a different route compared to a game like Star Citizen, simply because they haven't had the same sort of funding luck. You know, they still have a publisher behind it, and they needed to get a game out. They needed to start bringing in more consistent sales, and hopefully that's been working for them. I also can't wait for some performance increases with frame shift travel. Sometimes it's really rough. I mean, right now I'm seeing 16 FPS, so it's gonna be a bit choppy for you guys watching over there, because the rest of the game runs 120. 70 is the lowest I think I hit. So this is definitely it's a bit rough right now. But we're gonna pin this thing. Full throttle in. The worst thing that'll happen is we'll be kicked out, but I really just want to get to this location already. I'm sick of floating blindly in space here. Ready to make some more cash. I really want to get a new ship. I've been flying the Sidewinder for nearly 6 months now in this game. The only other thing I've flown was that free Eagle. That does not count. Five minutes out. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, it's a physical 5 minutes of travel that we have to engage, that we have to go through right now. And there's nothing else we can do. Take a look at our rank here. We're mostly harmless, which I think is actually a rank up, isn't it? It's harmless is the first one, mostly harmless is the second one, so probably why I actually unlocked that first icon for the ship, which is always cool. So our burst laser and our cannon. I'm interested to try the burst laser out. I'm also hoping it's not bugged in the same fashion that my pulse laser was, because that was really odd. What do we got for context here? A lot of ships in this area, actually. A lot of federal security. Something big's got to be going on somewhere. That is the most federal security that I've seen in one location in a very, very long time. It's a strong possibility that maybe we're just in between a lot of different locations, so they're all popping up, but that was serious, whatever we just passed through. A couple Vipers, a couple Eagles. Something's going down. Should probably mention while we're aimlessly flying in space here, waiting to arrive, about 1 minute 43 out. There will not be a Tumblr post to go along with this, so the story won't be continuing. I haven't had a chance. It's just been a wicked busy couple weeks, and I haven't had the time to sit down and actually write the coinciding document for the previous video. So I'm going to be trying to work on that over the next couple days, and hopefully I'll get that out. And when it's out, it's out. I know those of you guys who are actually interested in that are following on the Tumblr blog already, so you'll see it go live. You'll be able to read it, and you know, make sure I catch up on that before we put the next video out. Just trying to put more effort into that. Turned out, you know, started off as something just little and fun to do, but now I kind of want to make it a lot more interesting and spend some more time writing each of those. So they may start to fall behind from time to time, but I think it'll make them more worthwhile in terms of reading. And I'm going to take a book out of... I'm going to take a play out of my brother's book, and he's been... As a writer, he's been trying to write every day, so he's got his blog going on Tumblr, and he's writing flash fiction, what they call it. It's really popular. Basically, entire small stories that are just, you know, maybe like 100 words long, if that. And they're small pieces of fiction, and they're really fun to read. And, you know, again, when you talk about having time to do things and wasting time playing certain games, and I mean, the simple fact is, a lot of us are more interested in small doses of entertainment like that than having to sit down and read an entire book. So if I can accomplish something similar to that, rather than just writing these bland journal posts every single time I put one of those blogs out, I think that'll be pretty awesome. On another note, you guys should definitely go check out my brother's Tumblr over there with that. I know I've tweeted a couple times, but really good short fiction. I mean, I'm a junkie for that stuff. It's just fun to be able to like pop that open, and in literally 2 minutes, I've read an entire little story that is, you know, fun. It was extremely well written and just a good read. So I'll definitely, I'll throw that in the comment section for you guys. Minute out though, getting closer. I would consider skipping over, you know, FSD, but I know a lot of you guys actually just like seeing the game played straight up how it is. You wouldn't watch the videos otherwise, because that's how all these videos are. You know, you spend time in space travel. I feel there could be more done to make this a more entertaining experience. And this is, again, this is one of those moments where I think that Elite and SC can learn from each other. If they just are willing to, you know, if they're willing to just take a look and see what the other person is doing. And I feel like they definitely do that, you know. It's just a matter of then actually recognizing that somebody's done something good in a certain place and saying, how can we better ourselves there? Look what they've done. Maybe that system even works directly in our game. I personally wouldn't have an issue with that if I was David Braben or Chris Roberts. I would say, no, yeah, I mean, you guys want to use a system somewhat like ours. You know, we're glad you're inspired by it. You know, take it and learn from it and see what you can come up with. And of course, what we saw for the sort of jump points that Star Citizen is going to be doing. I mean, if they turn out anything like what they demonstrated at the city meeting thing that they did for Star Citizen, damn, that'll be something pretty special. Actually, flying your way through time as it's tearing in front of you is a pretty entertaining theory. Alright. Just over 25 minutes later, that was the longest flight I've ever had. That was absolutely ridiculous. We, yeah, made it to the resource extraction site. Lovely. The game really knows how to kill the mood sometimes. Just when you think you're having a good time, oh, let's go bounty hunting. Oh, it's a 30-minute flight. Anyways, I chose to edit that out, so you guys won't be seeing the last agonizing 6 minutes of flying into this damn resource extraction site. But we're here, and yeah, let's start to scan the place. Usually packed with targets, whether they be NPCs or real players. It seems to be just, you know, it's a heavy place. Lots of people mining, lots of pirates pirating away, and there's plenty of other players trying to claim bounties, much like myself. This guy's actually an elite rank in a Sidewinder, and we're being scanned. Who's scanning us here? I assume it's a pirate at this point. I don't even have my cargo bay activated, whoever you are. Mr. Hilton McWeeny. Oh, look, he's wanted. What a coincidence. We're looking for someone just like you. He's competent too, so I mean, hopefully should be worth a little bit more here. Actually, a very competent pilot. Jeez, there's some nice moves. You're not gonna shake me that easily, pal. Ah, that was an easy kill. I thought they said he was competent. Alright, one kill in the bag. Let's see how many more we can clean up before we head out of here. Let's go for something a little bit bigger. Let's probably clean this Cobra. Yep. Yeah, we do have some federal security services flying around. Let's stay away from them. Let them do their own little thing. This guy's mining over here. Good luck. Not like we would take on a in account anyways, but wouldn't hurt to scan him, I guess. Got an adder. There's another Sidewinder. Let's go after him. We'll try and stay in the Sidewinder range. Usually Cobras are actually pretty easily droppable, especially NPCs, if I'm honest. They're weak. So we got Blake Dark Expert, he's clean. Brooder Godfrey, Master Rank, also clean. Oh, somebody's engaging someone over here. Let's go see what, oh, no, she is wanted. I think she just picked up that bounty, though. Let's check an extra scan here. Yeah, not much on her. And the Federation is tearing her ship to pieces very quickly. I think that's... She's still up and running? Okay, we got another target. Nick Marsh here. Competent, let's go after him. Be very careful here if any Federation pilots cross in front of our crosshairs, not to engage them. Last thing I feel like dealing with is a bounty that turns into death. become very attached to this specific Sidewinder. I'd rather not lose it. It's a decent shield he's running on that ship. Okay, there it goes. He's taking quite the beating from myself and a couple of those eagles over there. Nice hit. That was the killing blow right there. He's done.
Under attack.
2000 CR, I'll take it.
Target destroyed.
One of my favorite things is how the Federation has no problem accidentally engaging your ship and just going about their business, but... oh, don't you dare put one little tiny ding on their ship. It'll be a 600 CR bounty on your head, and the next station you try and arrive at, you'll be nuked by automatic turrets immediately. Alright, let's see what we can find going on here. We're gonna go ahead and slow down for a little bit, just come to a stop and kind of let things happen around us. Looks like we got a Sidewinder straight ahead. Zojanik, expert, scanning. He's definitely being engaged by the Federation. Already at 24 though. Let's see if we can come and clean this up real quick. And we're too late. No, he's still up. He's still up. He's hanging in by a thread. Let's finish him off. Oh, that was a hell of a shot. He is done. Not sure if we claimed that. Yes, we did. Another 2000 CR in the bank. It's definitely good money to be made out in these locations, and it's quite a bit more fun flying in these areas rather than just taking the fight out in open space. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good time, but it's better when there's possible hiding locations for each of the targets, as well as for you. Makes things a bit more interesting.
Target shields offline.
Got another one already? Yeah, we do. He's being engaged.
Target shields online.
Really need to remove the key binding from my weapon select and put it somewhere else.
Target shields offline. Under attack.
There's the lovely Federation putting holes in my ship again. I bet you if I asked them to pay for it, they would say no. %. He is done. It was a poor display of marksmanship there, but credits are credits. Got Cobra out this way. Looks like he's clean. Yep, he's clean. A lot of small fries out here. Not seeing many. It's again highlighting one of those issues I talked about in a previous video where because this galaxy is so vast. I mean, it's not like there aren't places where people are, you know, sort of grouping up in real players, but you get a lot of these resource extraction sites and they're just filled with NPCs and nothing else. I mean, and it's fun until you just like whack like 5 or 6 of them flawlessly and really no combat, and you just start to lose the enjoyment then, you know? If there were real players out here, if there were more pirates in these locations, you know, I think it's just a matter of me probably having to head to some of the low-sec areas if I really want to find other players. I can imagine it would be a good idea to hang out in a place like this with Federation all over the place when you think about it, but just so many NPCs. I feel like it's becoming rarer and rarer for me to see an actual commander. Well then, I'm not sure what we just hit. If it was this guy or if it was an asteroid, I didn't think we were flying into a chunk of anything, but it's about time for us to bug out because that's a lot of damage to our hull. It's 29%. What the man? Alright, well, we're gonna bail out of here, and I guess we'll just have to take whatever we earned with us. It wasn't as much as I would have liked to have got, claimed, received, but we gotta leave now. That is an extremely weakened hull. So let's pick a starport and jump on out of here. Let's just go to Dalton. I was gonna go to Fairbairn because that's where I came from, but it's just Fairbairn is just it's the worst of the like 3 main ports that you can jump to here because it's so far away. So we're gonna head to Dalton and lick our wounds. But let's take a look at what we did for bounties. I mean, it had to be decent. It was 7,000. I also still have 2,000 sitting at the Empire. But about 8,000 in the Federation, on top of the 11,000 I earned earlier today. So it's about a $20,000 profit for the entire day. So I can't complain there. I mean, we're gonna have to spend a decent chunk of it on repairs for the ship, but no one to blame except for myself on that one.
Cannot comply.
Okay, there we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, I'm gonna head back to Dalton, do some repairs,
3,
turn in the money, and
1.
I think we'll call it for this one. It's definitely a nice place. I think I'm gonna start heading into some of the more low-sec areas. Just because I'm fed up with hunting AI, I'd really like to start hunting some other players, and I feel like Elite makes it extremely difficult to be a pirate because of how easy it is to be taken down by Federation guys, but again, I haven't really spent much time getting to know a lot of the low security areas in each of the different systems that I'm nearby, and I definitely need to do a little bit more traveling outside of the systems that I'm in if I probably want to head to some of the more player populated low sec areas. Imagine a couple minutes of searching on the forums and I can find some of those places where the pirates like to hang out, and maybe we'll go do some bounty hunting over there, because as fun as it is making credits just sweeping up AI, it does get a bit dull after a while. Even the competent AI, as you saw there, I mean, they spin a lot, but they really don't have any sort of flight strategy. There's nothing making them exceptionally good pilots, and there's definitely nothing making them fun to dogfight against. I mean, really your only challenge, it seems to be, is things with, you know, gimbaled or turrets on them. Those start to become an issue, and you gotta drop chaff all the time, but we just need a more interesting challenge. So we'll have to go hunt on some real players, find some low-sec areas, and start doing some bounty hunting over there, because like I said, I'm fed up with AI. If you guys are bounty hunters playing Elite and you have any suggested areas, I don't care if they're on the other side of the galaxy, you know, or if you just like to talk a little bit about what some of your most interesting bounties have been in terms of real players, not just AI claims, feel free to share all that stuff in the comment section below. I think there's quite a bit of discussion that us bounty hunters can have with each other regarding best bounties against other players. I'd have to say my best is currently that one poor commander who just, you know, obviously had no idea what he was doing and somehow had a $7,000 credit on his head and pretty much just tried to ram me, which led to his ultimate demise. And 8,000 credits in my pocket. So, if you guys have any stories like that, or ones better than that, feel free to share them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.